Well, I just thought we'd kind of start by thinking about when you were in hospital with your episode of delirium. And I wondered if you could just talk us through what you remember about it, Eleanor.
Well, I think the first thing I can remember is being in bed and two nurses tried to keep us in bed, but I didn't want to stop. I wanted to go home. And I was crying and they were keeping us in the bed, and I was terrified. The first feeling I ever had was fear and pain inside us, and that was the most thing that I don't think I'll ever forget, was that, the fear, fearful of everybody, except my family.
Yeah.
But I was fearful of some things. I remember getting a chair and going to the desk where the doctors sit, and I put my chair. I could laugh now, but it's not funny at the time. I didn't think that they didn't. They just let us sit there.
And did that make you feel a bit safer, being close to that doctors and nurses station?
Yes, it did. And I sat there till the nurse came. One thing, I did hit a nurse with a Lucozade bottle because I thought he was taking my children away.
That sounds really scary.
And I was terrified, and I had a Lucozade bottle, and I don't know how much was in it. I thought it was half full, but I don't know. And I lifted it, and I hit him right on the back of the head. And if I could have held the bottle, but my hands aren't very good, and it slipped on the floor. And I remember him saying, "Why have you done that?" And he was a lovely lad, lovely lad. And I told him he was taking my children away. And I can't remember after that what happened. I've got memories of those, but I don't know if it's true. I hated them with such a vengeance. I hated them. I was terrified of them. That's what it was.
Do you remember trying to actually leave the ward because you were so frightened?
Yeah, but I couldn't find a way out. I couldn't find a door to get out.
And that must have been really scary.
It was. I thought, I'm locked in. Why had I locked us in? But I tried to get out. I tried to get out through the night. I thought, well, I can't get out through the day because I was locked there, and there's doctors there, and I thought I'll wait till later, and I did, but I couldn't. I tried to get out, and I couldn't. So I went back to bed, and I covered my head up, and I prayed to die.
I'm sorry that things got that bad for you, Eleanor.
It was. If it hadn't been for my daughters, I think I would have tried to do it myself. Because I didn't see any meaning to anything. But I just kept thinking, when they'll come, they'll take us away, they'll take us home. And then they came, but they wouldn't take us. They wouldn't take us. I cried and asked them to take us, and they couldn't. And I asked everybody if they would take us.
And I know those feelings are still so strong now, and we've talked about that a few times, how intense that fear and that terrifying fear is still so strong, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. As I say, if I hadn't had my children, I wouldn't have been here. Oh, it hurts. it hurts. Sometimes it's worse than physical pain. The pain inside you. And I never felt pain like it. And a lump. It felt as if it was coming out of us. It was that big, the lump. But I never told the nurses, because I thought, if I tell them, they'll keep me here forever. And that's what I thought. I thought I was going to be there forever.
Family coming in,
Yeah.
when you were feeling very upset and very distressed, did they come in through the night, do you remember, to help?
Well, I cannot remember, but they did.
Mm-hmm.
They did. They came in, they used to phone.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they come in, but I think I wouldn't go to bed and I was wandering around and that. And I think I was acting up bad.
And do you might not remember this, but do you think that was helpful when your family came in? Do you think you felt a bit safer?
I always felt better when they came.
Yeah, that's good.
Always. Just when that was through the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I never wanted them to go away, but I didn't want to say because I knew they would be upset. And I knew they had to go and leave us. And I hated it. I've had all things the matter with us. Broken legs, broken arms. I've had everything. Childbirth was nothing to
4
this.
times.
Yeah.
4 times.
So you've been through lots of things in your life, and yet
Yes.
this is the one thing
This is the thing. I think I couldn't go, I wouldn't let myself live to go through that again.
talk quite a lot about the nursing staff and worries about the nursing staff. Was there anything that they did that made you feel a bit safer, or anything that they said that you can remember that made you feel
They weren't nice.
reassured?
They weren't nice. There was one girl that was nice to me, and that lad that I had with the bottle.
And what was it about them that made them nice, do you think?
I don't know,
It's hard,
but the one night
You
they'd
just
come
got a
in
feeling.
and the girl would sit and rub my hand, and the lad would come over, and as soon as I come in, he'd go, "Hello, Eleanor," and that made me feel. It made a smile when he said that. He didn't need to come to this. Didn't need to do anything.
And Eleanor, what's your understanding now about what caused it? I know we've talked about the word
Well,
delirium and what that means.
The only thing is my back was very, very bad. I couldn't stand. I had such a bad back. And I phoned my daughter and said, would you get the doctor for us? And then I cannot remember much after that.
But you had a lot of pain.
I had a lot of pain. But that disappeared when this came. I had no pain in my back. I just, how that happened, I don't know.
The brain's a very complex organ, how
Yes.
it works and how
Yeah,
what it does.
it took me pain away and give it something else.
But you got a different kind of
A
pain.
different kind, a worse pain. A worse pain than I've ever had in my life, ever experienced, or ever want to. I've got great sympathy for people that have got this. Okay, nurses know about it.
Well, I was going to ask you that.
I don't think so.
And what do you think, if you wanted to give them, some advice or, thoughts about how they could help other patients, other people who have a similar experience to you? What advice would you give them?
If I was a nurse and was trying to help somebody, and somebody's running up, I would hold them. Even if it's just to put your arm around their shoulder, talk to them quietly, and just rub their arm, rub their hand, something like that. That's a great comfort when somebody does that to you. And I know that from the hospital. There wasn't many that did that. It was,
That's a good bit of advice.
get into bed.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to get into bed. Mind I didn't. And when they went away, I got up as they made us.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's treating you worse than an animal. And I think a little bit of comfort, even if you're frightened to death, and if somebody put their arm around your shoulder, held your hand and said, you're all right, you're going to be all right, you know. Tomorrow's another day, you'll be all right then. That, so comforting. And I think only one girl did that to me. She came and she sat beside me when I was in distress then, and she rubbed my hand, held my hand, rubbed my hand. What a comfort. She did that to keep me in bed. I know that. I knew what she was doing, but I was so comforted. I still did it.
And that approach worked much better than being just told, get into bed.
Yeah,
Just having that contact.
That made
and
me
that.
so angry. And I didn't know what to do, but I wouldn't get in till the made us, really made us. But when they went away, I got up. So there you go. So glad to go home. So glad.
And you're doing really well at home now.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
seen you a couple of times at home.
We were so glad to get you home, I think.
Yes, I was glad to get home. But I'm not saying I was perfectly all right when I got home. But I'm all right. I can go out myself. I go out to the market or somewhere like that.
Talked at length about your experience. Is there anything else that you think we've missed or that you think is important that you wanted to mention?
No, the most important thing that I've said is about comfort. These people that are like that and realise what's the matter with them. That they're not doing things to be nasty or vicious. They're ill. They're really ill and they need comfort. That's the main thing for these nurses to know. And I don't think they must have known, because there was little comfort. So that's the
Take home
thing.
message.
That's the main thing. And it just, these people that have got this, I've got great sympathy for them. But we'll come through it. I hope. Like me.